That would definitely be like a fit. These the same, I think.
Like,
well played. Okay, let's see here. There we go. I think we're all set. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh, and look at this, just in time. We'll give our cameraman a minute to run over here, actually, so we'll hold on just a second.
Was your press conference for a top golf or no?
You know, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I heard... All right, well, welcome everybody. This is a real special occasion for this area of town and all those who've been involved with this project. We were, and just to give folks who are watching a little bit of perspective, we're at basically Central and Unser. And this intersection has been the home of a number of efforts across a number of administrations and through a number of partners in terms of really trying to do placemaking on the west side. And so now this is really, I think, an iconic feature for Central and Unser and for the southwest and really the west side of town. And so we're here to celebrate the opening, the grand opening of a facility that's been open already, but because of COVID, we've delayed this 3 times. So as we mentioned, 3rd time's a charm. This is the Nuevo Atrisco housing structure, and I'll describe a little bit of this, but this is just phase 1. So we're going to have lots of speakers, so I'm not going to actually share that much other than give a few thank yous. But this is a housing development that hits a lot of notes that our city needs, and then there's going to be some other mixed-use development next to it. And if you look around this area of town, we also have, of course, this is the terminus for the art project out here on the west side. We have this amazing new best-in-class library that is also on this intersection, and we continue to develop this area around it. And so for us, this, I think, is really about playing catch-up for decades of underinvestment, especially in this area of town. And so that's exactly what we're celebrating today. So let me just acknowledge a lot of these folks are going to be speaking, but of course our 2 city councilors are here, Councilor Pena and Councilor Sena. Of course, we also acknowledge Councilor Ken Sanchez, who really got this project started and, of course, was here when we broke ground on this. And many of our partners are including Yes Housing, Mortgage Finance Authority, and the Maestas Development Group. We also had some real help from our state lawmakers, Senator Jacob Candelaria, Representative Mo Maestas, and Representative Georgine Lewis. And I think this also shows another example of how our city can really step up when it comes to public-private partnerships. This is overall a 6.6 acre site. It's got a mix of funding, including $3 million from our Metropolitan Redevelopment Fund and also our Workforce Housing Trust Fund for Phase 1. And Phase 2 also has $1.9 million from our GO bonds. That is a set aside for the commercial side of the development that we'll hear a little bit about. So this is really a job creation project, especially on the construction end, but also as we build out the commercial side. And it's part of our administration's general effort to push projects across the finish line. when we came in, there were a number of great ideas that were still in the works and had been for several years. And we said, you know what, we're just going to get them done. And we're not going to quibble over the extra 100,000 or something like that, or the extra design change that we've been waiting for. Let's just go ahead and say yes. And so that's what we've been doing right here. This also is the 12th project in the 2020 Metropolitan Redevelopment Package, which puts us at over $116 million in construction. And again, that's part of our COVID economic relief job creation program that we've been working on with our Metropolitan Redevelopment Department, or agency, I should say. So this site here is about families in affordable housing, which also, of course, is one of our biggest needs. So it's not a coincidence that we're located right next to public transit and also next to a wonderful library. And so it's essentially part of trying to fill a huge gap of affordable housing on the west side, which includes a need for 15,000 affordable units to meet the demand in overall Albuquerque low-income households. So we're trying to do all we can, and at least this is a significant step forward. A little bit more on that to come. All right, so with that, let's hear some details about this project, but let's begin with our District 1 City Councilor, Lan Sena. Councilor?
Just trying to be safe here. Thank you, Mayor. And thank you for joining us on this very special occasion, the ribbon cutting for Nuevo Atrisco. Like the Mayor said, I wanted to pay homage and respect to our late City Councilor for District 1, Councilor Ken Sanchez, who worked very hard with our community, with Councilor Pena, with Mayor Keller, Westside legislators, Yes Housing, and Steve Miesis on this development since 2006, and I am honored to be a part of it. The community agreed over a decade ago that we needed retail, an educational component, a medical facility, and a transit center at this very corner. The residents and patrons of this mixed-use project will be able to utilize these services of the beautiful Patrick J. Baca Library, the UNMH Clinic, Defined Fitness across the street at Unser Crossing. The residents also have, right next to the newly remodeled transit center, as the mayor had mentioned, here on Central and Unser. So all of the city can utilize this space. And we're actually in the middle of a playground and our community garden behind us. And I really wish you could also see that a lot of our residents are also watching, some of them very young, who will be able to utilize this playground space. But Nuevo Atrisco will be the hub for housing, entertainment, but one of needed services and exciting retail. The vision for this project is a nod to tradition with an exciting infusion of new and exciting services that this community has needed for a very long time. Today we're celebrating bringing the additional of the retail office and housing to this great area of Albuquerque, and next to come with more sit-down restaurants, as the mayor had mentioned, for the next phase. And it'll be a real destination for Central and Unser and really the West Side. So I'm really glad to be a part of this project and like to thank everyone involved in making this reality, and really to our residents and to our community that this is going to be a great space for us all. Thank you, and back to the mayor.
Well, thanks so much, Councilor. And this has really been a partnership across two districts. And so a lead woman behind this from day one, our Councilor Pena.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. What a beautiful day to have a ribbon cutting for such a wonderful project. It's been a long-awaited project in our community for several years. Councilor Sena, I just want to congratulate you. You kind of nailed it in terms of the history, and everybody and all the stakeholders who have been come forward to make this a reality. But I just want to say, thank you to Yes Housing, Mr. Chris Baca, SWAN, the West Central Community Development Group, and obviously the city, the administration, for coming together. And as the mayor mentioned, this is an underserved area of the city for for a long time coming. And, you know, when I talk about the community groups that were part of this, they started back in, I want to say, the early 90s, trying to come together to come up with some ideas for West Central and how to improve the area and create a really economic development, economic opportunities, and really just change the outlook for this area. And they have a lot of successes by them. This has been something that's been really methodical, thought out over the years, and through these people's preservation and dedication, lots of these projects are coming to fruition. As mentioned by Councilor Sena, you know, we have the transit, we have the library, we have the new retail that's coming up here in front, and then obviously this beautiful project that's going to, affordable housing project that's going to house so many of our residents in our area and give them a good, safe place to live. So I just really want to, again, just thank everybody. This anything that gets done in this area, as you all know, it takes a village, and I'm really proud to be part of this village. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Councilor Pena. And we're going to hear from one of our financial institutions that really helped put this together next. But I do want to mention I forgot two really important senators in this project. And of course, during the session and everything, they can't be here in person or even really be able to join us on Zoom. But we want to thank them, of course. So in addition to the ones I mentioned before, Senator Padilla and Senator Linda Lopez, thank you so much. Okay, let's hear from, I believe we have Director Izzy Hernandez here from NMFA, the New Mexico Finance Authority.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Mayor. What a tremendous way to start out the new year. It's celebrating a new community that's being developed here. As we all know, there is a great need for affordable housing in New Mexico. It's estimated that 44% of renters are cost burdened. In the Albuquerque MSA alone, it's estimated that 49,000 units are needed for rental affordable housing. Anyone who's been in the housing business knows that building a house is much more than just putting four walls and a roof together. It is about creating a safe space where families can grow and thrive. It is about creating buildings and neighborhoods where families can live side by side, interacting and coming and knowing to depend on one another. In short, housing business is about creating communities. The start of a new community is what we are celebrating here today. Not only is Nuevo Atrisco a beautiful and energy-efficient property with great views, but it also has all of the components needed to build a thriving, healthy community. The garden space, the recreational areas that we see here before us, the community room and kitchen, computer room, and even a large rooftop deck where residents can relax, connect, and build relationships. What makes Nuevo Atrisco even more remarkable is, however, a broader community in which it is located. More than 4,200 square feet of retail space and restaurant space, as well as a plaza, which, as we all know, it is the heart and soul of many New Mexico communities. It is also across the street from a public library that has been mentioned, which is a home, I believe, of the Albuquerque's largest children's book collection. Through MFA's tax credit program, we are able to fund a handful of projects under a very competitive program on an annual basis. We are pleased to have awarded $10 million in tax credits to Nuevo Atrisco, in addition to over $2 million in other funding to include the New Mexico Housing Trust Fund. So I want to thank our legislators for providing that very valuable resource. To all the people involved in making Nuevo Atrisco happen, the City of Albuquerque, Wells Fargo, Maestas Development, and Yes Housing, who's been a great partner and an exceptional partner in everything that they do across the state and in all the communities that they work in. And also to our board and our staff, thank you. Together we are helping build stronger, thriving communities. Mayor, back to you.
So you the new JSR?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought. All right, well, thank you so much, Izzy. And I'm a little off my game this morning. I shared I had some old leftover chicken wings last night, and I just got to tell you I'm a little off. Also, we haven't had a press conference in like 6 months, so I want to make yet another correction. Just NMFA, right? This is the Mortgage Finance Authority. And so, Izzy, we're glad it's in your capable hands after I know Jay left a great legacy. Okay, so next up is another local legend, the gentleman who runs Yes Housing, Chris Baca. Chris?
Got my glasses on fog here. It's haven't been able to see anybody. Oh my God, there's a lot of people here. So thank you everybody for being here. This is a culmination for us at Yes Housing, and I'm a member of this particular community as well. My wife and I were looking over some notes last night about some of the work that we've done in the community that we started way back in 1993. And, you know, we had a laundry list of things we needed, most of them related to just community amenities. Things like the Alamosa Community Center did not exist then. We didn't have the kind of community policing that we have now. There's a whole host of things that we needed. The very bottom of that list, because so many other issues were pressing to us, was economic development. And we began then to really think hard about what could our community look in the future, realizing that we had so many other issues that we needed to address first. You know, we had so many issues that were confronting us in the area that we needed to tackle those first, but we never took our eye off the economic revitalization efforts that were necessary to happen, that needed to happen for our community to become healthier. We know how much individual health is dependent on community health. And if you don't address those underlying issues, your community's never quite whole. You're always struggling. And to be honest, the neighborhood that I live in, we've always been on the edge. You know, one more thing and we'll tumble off the edge of the spectrum of communities that are at risk. But we never gave up. You know, I've lived on that particular street corner for 45 years now, raised my family there, and didn't give up. Working with community leaders like Ken Sanchez and Councilor Pena, who was not a councilor then, more of a community activist, we began to really push hard on let's make some things happen in our community. At Yes Housing, which has been around for 30 years, we had to traipse all over the state, you know, trying to get a little project here, a little project there. I mean, we're in Deming, we're in Las Cruces, we're in Hobbs, we're in Gallup, we're in Clovis, we're in Farmington, we're in Los Alamos. And we had to go all around before we could actually circle back, have the kind of experience under our belts to do something much bigger. And always at our side, we've had great partners like the New Mexico Mortgage Finance Authority, with which, without their efforts, the $12 million that Izzy talked about earlier, this would not happen. And of course, you can't get that kind of money from an entity like the New Mexico Mortgage Finance Authority unless the city and the county and other governmental units step up, and they did in a big way. In a big way, the city stepped up. I can tell you, I don't know how many panic calls. Where's the mayor? The mayor got from me. I said, it's stuck, it's not moving. Or I would call either Ken or Clarissa and says, well, it's not moving, it's not happening. You know, you get kind of traumatized over things that just keep getting in the way. You know, not the least of which was COVID that happened right in the midst of this whole thing, right? And then we had that whole China tariff deal that happened right in the midst of it, and all of a sudden our budget was blown because things were going up at incredible prices, like 20% on some of the building materials. But we made it, and we dragged it across the finish line, as we say. And what you have here is this beautiful edifice. It's a home. You know, if you understand what homes are, and I know you all do, you know, a home isn't a home until there's somebody inside of it. Before that, it's just a shell. It's just four walls and some windows and a door. When people start moving in, then you begin to see the efforts are paying off. and so many folks that live here. We're about 95% leased up. And that's what really makes me happy. To see some folks that were formerly living in places that were not in the greatest of places. I can't tell you how often I'm thanked by folks that have moved in here, how pleased they are with the amenities that are here. As you see, there's a gym behind you. There's a community room right here. There's a computer space, community computer space as well. We have a social services coordinator that is on site as well, trying to make the connections for our families. So this complex is just a culmination of what we see as a true public, private, and nonprofit effort. It takes all these folks that have spoken before me and the ones that are coming behind me to make something this great work. We're so pleased that we've gotten the kind of cooperation we've gotten. This place is just the first phase. We're looking very forward to Steve Maestas, the Maestas Development Group, launching right immediately south of us, the next 3 acres, the Nuevo Atrisco Plaza, and he'll be up at some point in time and describe that. That will finally begin to fill out this critical corner of Unser and Central. It's actually the gateway between the north and south of the city, and this is so critical in terms of getting movement going and economic activity. As the mayor mentioned, he recognized this early, that unless we did something, and we did something in a big way, we're probably going to be stalled out for a long time. But this is just that first step. Expect more and great things. Folks like Karen Iverson over at MRA that we work with from the get-go, we go way back on getting this through, and that was really the first phase. And then folks like the Department of Family and Community Services, Carol Pierce, that whole group, great group of staff that you have, Mayor. I mean, and so often that we called to the mayor's office just if something was stuck along the way. He got it unstuck. His great folks stepped up. And so we're grateful for all of you. We're grateful for you to be here on this beautiful day. If we waited one more day, it'd probably be snowing. So thank God it didn't. So thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you so much, Chris. And this is just another cornerstone in a lifetime of outstanding work for the city of Albuquerque and the state of New Mexico. Now, let's see. We want to hear from some neighborhood folks as well. And also, I believe we have Luis Hernandez from our West Side Chamber. And come on up. You got it, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. It is certainly a good community effort. That actually is. It's the West Central Community Development Group, and I just got to say that it's okay. It's okay. But I have to say, it's. He's saying that because I've had the wonderful opportunity to be involved with a lot of the chambers here in the area. But I got to say that the West Central Group. We stand on the shoulders of giants like Mr. Chris Baca, right? Who believed in the community that that he lived in, and he wanted to do something that most folks would run away from, right? And he enlisted the help of Councilor Clarissa Pena that for years had made a decision to stay right here in the community and do their part to make it a better place for us to live. And that's where the West Central Community Development Group was birthed, right? To continue that work, right? Our work is to revitalize the West Central corridor, and that is realized through public-private partnerships just like this one, where Steve Maestas comes to the table with Chris, and then they strategize on how they can bring all the other partners to the table to create something beautiful for the community, right? To create something that is going to help in further establishing our beautiful West Side area here, our beautiful West Central area. And so I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful. This is a great day to celebrate, not just because the sun is shining, but during the past year, we haven't had an opportunity to celebrate many things. And we truly believe that this is one that that is going to be celebrated for quite some time. And we're looking forward to phase 2. I understand that there's going to be some massive community parties. They kind of kicked us out of our space here, right? But we're okay with that, and we're looking forward to phase 2 and hearing from Steve what that will entail. So thank you guys again, and congratulations.
Thanks so much, Luis. And we also have, there's an amazing neighborhood community around this part of town, and of course it's where Councilor Pena originally started, and many others, but representing the current incarnation of our Southwest Association of Neighborhoods, Geraldine Ulibarri. Geraldine.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our neighborhood. My name is Geraldine Ulibarri. I'm the Vice President of the Southwest Alliance of Neighbors, or known as SWAN. SWAN has several neighborhood associations involved, and we've been meeting for several years and talking about developing just additional businesses, merchants, retails in this area and in the West Central location. So we are so very excited to welcome Nuevo Atrisco here in our neighborhood, and we look forward to adding the other retail that's going to be coming in phase 2. Thank you very much.
Now we want to begin to wrap up with some of our private sector partners, and these kinds of projects always require some good banking services. And I want to introduce, I think Patricia Nye is here from Wells Fargo.
Thank you, and I want to congratulate Nuevo Atrisco. It's a beautiful project. On behalf of Wells Fargo, we appreciate and enjoy working with Yes Housing and all the other agencies that participate to make these happen. I've been in the community development world through Wells Fargo for quite a few years. I have the honor of serving on the city's Affordable Housing Committee. So I see all of the good work that is being done to help bring housing stability to our community, which is a foundational approach to having a good community. And so thank you, and we appreciate being able to come and celebrate the grand opening.
Okay, now when we think about the next phase of placemaking in this particular area of town, in this intersection, I remember when this was first envisioned, and it was made clear to me, and I could tell once I actually paused and thought about it, but a lot of people in other areas of the city don't realize, like where's the equivalent of Cottonwood Mall or ABQ Uptown in this area of town? And the good news is that's kind of what phase 2 is all about. It's a slice of just mixed-use development that this area really, really needs, and we're all going to very much enjoy. So the man behind that vision and that project is Steve Maestas. Steve?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, as I was listening to your comments and those of others, it occurred to me that really this is total collaboration, both public and private. I know we've touched on that, but it's effective collaboration. And I'm reminded about the need that exists in this community, and also the passion of so many people, city leaders, stakeholders within the community that have really willed this project to the place that it is today. And so it's really a privilege for me and my team to be a part of it, frankly. Just a quick snapshot about the vision of the commercial project. I'll tell you that it is our intent and our expectation to break ground later this year on it. I think it's going to be a wonderful, fantastic addition to this community and, frankly, to the city of Albuquerque. We have designed an indoor-outdoor environment that is truly, truly best in class in terms of placemaking and creating that sense of place. We have 8 different restaurants that will be represented and have a position, have a place here. These restaurants will bring a variety of food and a quality of food that frankly, doesn't exist to the level that it should in this community. In addition, we will see retail, and the thing that I'm really interested and excited about are some of the other components of this project. So while it's an indoor-outdoor walkable development, we've got a lot of partnerships pending with community organizations. So you're going to see us spend time on food scarcity, on nutrition education. A big piece of our strategy is to address the arts and the ubiquity of talent that exists in this community with regard to the culinary culture and the art culture is something that I think we can really unharness and unleash that latent talent throughout our community for the betterment of our residents. So again, thanks to the city, the leadership of the mayor, the councilors Pena, Sena, and a big high five and congratulations to Chris Baca and the Yes Housing team for executing on this first phase. Mayor.
Okay, and lastly, before we cut the ribbon here, I do want to recognize Chris gave her some shout outs too, but we when a new administration comes in, you always have lots of turnover and so forth, and I think we've been very fortunate to have Karen Iverson over at MR. So she's in the shadows over there, quietly behind all of this at the city end. So thank you, Karen. All right, well, with that, I want to thank everyone who was able to make it today and those who were part of this project and, just stepping back and listening to some of our guest speakers. What a great reflection of leaders in our community and everyone who's very much just dedicated to lifting up Albuquerque and also this particular area of town. So thank you all so much for your dedication to the city. And let's cut this ribbon. All right, thanks. Chris, you want the fancy scissors?
So all of the handles have been sanitized.
Oh,
so you don't have to worry
nice.
about
Clarissa, you want this one? Or whoever? Okay. Do you have a ribbon? You do?
Thank you.
Fine, he can just give me a second.
You guys want to scoot back there? You can. Well, I'll make room.
If you want, I can run it across this way.
Oh, you want to? Sure. You, Johnny, whatever you
do it. You got it?
Oh, I see. Which side do you get?
This side, the transition in the background. Sorry, I should have jumped on that one earlier. Careful, those scissors, Chris.
Okay, Mom.
Julie, will you help us move that podium, please?
Those are
Why does
serious.
everyone tell him that when he has a pair of scissors in his hand?
That's true.
My wife won't let me do this.
6 feet apart.
Okay, spread out a little bit here, and we'll kind of angle it there. Okay, we'll do from 3 backwards. 3, 2, 1. All right. Woo! Good job, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, one picture. You guys ready?
All right. Nice. If you want souvenir ribbon, feel free to grab it.
You look dangerous with those, Chris. I have to tell you, man. So I've gotten used to talking to everyone, and when they mention candy.